Good morning. You're listening to Overcoming Life. I am your host, Opal Bailey. Hi ho, off to work we go. And then here comes Grumpy. You know, those people that come along your way and all they see is doom and gloom and everything is wrong with the day already. I just want to encourage you that you don't have to be grumpy. I know that this is Monday morning and it's the beginning of the week, and some of you may not even want to be up. Some of you may already feel the pressure of the agenda or whatever you have to do throughout the week. But you know what? There's a better way to embrace your day, a better way to handle every situation. And it's about being thankful. Because, you know, we always have someone in our life, no matter where they are. You may have a coworker and all they want to do is complain about everything that's going on in their life, everything that's going wrong, even on the job. And they want everyone to know. I just experienced this situation a couple of days ago, and it hit me the first time I got in the building. That person just pounded on everything that was wrong at the job. And I just looked at them. And it was amazing to me that they woke up, started their day, and just complained. And you would think that it only was for that moment. No, this person carried it on throughout the whole day. This person made sure everyone knew how dissatisfied, how frustrated, how worried, how anxious, angry, whatever it was that they were. This person made sure that every one of us knew that. And I know that there are times in our lives that we are grumpy. You know, we may, like some people say, we roll out off the bed on the wrong side, or, you know, things just become so overwhelming the first thing as soon as your feet hit the floor. I understand that. But, you know, when we desiring or we wanting to have an overcoming life, we can actually live victoriously every single day. If we make a choice to get out of bed and say, thank you. If we have a heart of gratitude, if we have a heart of appreciation, you know, instead of seeing the doom and the gloom of the day, we complain about every little thing. We complain about if it's hot or cold, if the food was not served fast, you know, if the television sitcom was canceled. Every little thing that we see, we try to complain about, instead of seeing how thankful we are to be alive, to see the sun, to hear the rain, to even walk, to have legs and arms, you know. And I know that there are things in our lives that we are grumpy about, and things do come our way, but we don't have to live a life like Grumpy in Snow White. You know, that's all he did. Everything was grumpy to him. And if you've seen the movie, his whole body language, his whole life was like a black cloud. And it's also showed to me that he's so stubborn that he didn't even want to change. He didn't even want to see anything different. He just believed that life was just doom and gloom. I'm just encouraging you this week. You know, don't allow complaining to be a normal thing in your life. You know, I was reading this article where it said researchers have shown, and they have studied, that when we complain, it says that it rewires the neutrons in our brain, and it remembers the complaining. And the more we complain about something, the more the brain remembers it. So when you wake up, you immediately begins to complain. And it's because because of the rewiring, because the neutrons is actually there to help build our immune system and all these things, you know, the natural way it's supposed to work in our bodies. But when we begin to complain, or we become anxious, or we become worried, or we become frustrated, then we begin to take on these stressors in our bodies. And these stressors rewire our neutrons to where it basically, instead of building our immune system, it started attacking our immune system. It started attacking the very thing that is meant to help us fight off sickness or ailments or colds or whatever. And if you notice a person who complains or grumpy, they're not happy. Sometimes you get headaches. Sometimes you're just so frustrated and flustered. And you know what? Even the statistics I was reading said that it causes headaches. But then not only that, but the more you complain, it causes blood pressure. And the more you keep complaining and you don't feel like you don't get a release, or you don't do anything different, or you just don't change your mindset about stuff. These are like constant complainers. You got to complain about everything. It says that it also can cause a stroke just by you complaining. So that just made me think, how powerful is complaining? It's not our friend, it's our enemy. It wants to kill and destroy every joy that God has allowed us to have. And He's given us joy. He said that we can have joy every single day. It's a choice that we choose. In Thessalonians 5:16-18, it says, be joyful, always pray continually, give thanks in all circumstances, for this is the will of God for our lives. God wants us to be prayerful. He wants us to be joyful. He wants us to be thankful in every situation, in every circumstances. In Philippians 2:14, it says, do not complain or argue. Why do you think God told us that? Why do you think that in the word it shares that? Because I believe God knows how these negative stressors will affect our physical bodies. And it's not sometimes of all we eat, but it's basically, you know what, I believe too, is with the things that we say out of our mouths, how our attitude is, that it affects the way our body responds to certain things. It brings sickness on to us. I believe that what we speak out of our mouths is shaping and molding things to come into us, because our bodies really wasn't meant to carry all this stress. Because if it was, God wouldn't tell us in Matthew to not worry. Don't be anxious for nothing. He said, but pray. Anything bothering you, pray. Anything you're upset about, pray. Somebody's getting on your nerves, pray. Your boss is not acting right. You didn't get that raise. Don't go fussing about the boss and your coworkers. And he said, pray. Your husband made you mad, pray. Your wife made you upset, pray. Because he wants us to live victorious. He given us everything that pertains to life and godliness. So if He given us everything that pertains to life, we can live victoriously every single day. We can go and know that our life has a purpose, it has a plan, and we can live it to the fullest, and we can enjoy it, and we can embrace it. And even if we're in a environment of hostility or environment that's not pleasant, we still can have victory. Not because of the environment, but because of our attitude toward the environment. Because of our own thought pattern toward what's going on. Because it's easy to either join in with the complaining or stand outside of the complaining and make a stand and say, I'm not getting involved with that. I understand your discontent, but either come bring in a solution, but don't add on to a problem. Let this week be a week where you decide to not grumble, to not complain. And if you think about complaining, you know, one thing I do when I think about complaining, I think about it quickly because the Holy Spirit just reminds me, you know, you're complaining, stop it. But another thing I think about complaining is I start singing something. I'll sing a song I've heard, or I'll start saying la, 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 whatever it is to get me off of that, because I know that it affects my body. I know that it affects the way I'm thinking. And another thing that it affects your mental ability to concentrate, because it's your mind that's being affected. So be encouraged this week. Don't be grumpy. Be victorious. Live a life victorious, and be joyful. Thank you for tuning in to Overcoming Life. I'm your host, Opal Bailey. God bless.